Hello, ladies and gentlebeards. Welcome to this Flat Cap Friday edition of Carl's Bearded Banter. You join me. We are in the interrogation room. Interview room here at Banter Towers, and I've got a new friend of mine who's joining us today, named Kevin Booth. He is a qualified physiotherapist.
Correct. Yes.
And but he's recently retired. He's also involved in a company run by a good friend of mine, Linda Booth, called Just for Tummies. Now, I'll give you a little bit of a spiel on that. I mean, I've got some of this. You can't see it there with the finger. The Just for Tummy tea, calming and delicious blend of herbs and spices, traditionally used to soothe the digestive system. And I'll tell you what, ladies and gents, it's a fantastic tea. I'm just drinking it here now. So, if you've got, a bit of an off tummy, I find it if you've had a big meal, like a big Chinese meal or something, get one of them down, after it settles your stomach really
Definitely
well. Yeah. Yes, a little more serious now. We've brought Kevin in here to talk about a subject that I think is kind of very important, especially for men, and it being Men's Health Month. I posted his blog in my page at Private Beards and Banter Towers a few weeks ago, but now we just thought I'd bring him in himself so he can tell us from the horse's mouth, as it were. And we're going to talk about the issue of bowel cancer and getting that checked out. We'll let Kevin tell us about his experience. Without further ado, I will introduce you to Kevin. No, there we go. Hello, Kevin. How are you doing, buddy?
Hello. Yes.
Thank you for joining me in Banter Towers. I hope you did like it. I hope the guys treated you well at the gates when you was coming in.
Yes, they did. They let me in.
That's fantastic. I don't know if you want to, give a bit more information about yourself. I may not have done you justice there. If you want to tell us about your past and your present and future.
Yes, well, past and present, right. So I started life as an engineer in my younger days. I'm an ex-miner, so
okay.
I left the motor trade and joined British Coal in 1979, and then got made redundant actually in 1992. And then I was at a point where I thought, what do I do now? I got to a point where I thought, engineering, I got a little bit tired of it, to be honest with you. In 92, there was a bit of a recession on then. Jobs were very sort of little. And it was Linda, really, my wife, said, why do you think about being a physio? And, I mean, it never really entered me. And I think really it was an ends to a mean at the time. So I thought, well, I'll do a weekend course and just see how it goes and think about it. I was very good with my hands, so I think that helps.
Right.
And I really enjoyed the course on the weekend, so I followed it through. And I invested 4.5 years of my time, working part-time as well as whilst I was training. So yes, and I became a physiotherapist, and I've worked with Linda for many years in the clinical environment, doing that. And then, as you said earlier, I retired during March 2020 after the sort of pandemic came. All clinics had to close, so we couldn't continue to practice. And then eventually, when we could, it was all PPE, masks, visors, and to do a physio job and all that, it was just absolutely too hard work.
Yeah.
So I thought, probably it's time now to sort of call it a day after, nearly 30 years, I think.
Wow.
And then sort of, that's my background, really. So now I'm involved with Just for Tummies, helping Linda, the digestive health online e-commerce site, and obviously Linda gives lots of information as well. So I'm doing that now.
What I'll do, Kevin, if you give me the details later, I'll get Linda to do it. We'll stick the link to Just for Tummies under this so people can go and find it.
Yeah, please do.
I mean, obviously, it's doing rather well. Like I say, you've been able to not return to work, as in retire from physio and get involved in this. So that's well done on that.
I mean, the thing is, I think really it's the energy of sort of getting it running again, to be honest with you. A lot of my patients are quite elderly as well as young. I never got over involved in the sports side of physio.
Okay.
I was very much treating back pain, neck pain, and sort of the more mature person. But of course, they're all scared to death of coming to the clinic. So
yeah, of course, yeah.
it's
Hard time for a lot of people with the COVID in business. I mean, it's
yes, very tough.
hard time. You were
But
lucky.
saying that, you pivot, you move on, and
You do.
you have to keep going.
Time still drags by. We do what we can
it does,
do.
yeah.
Yeah. So, like I said, it's Men's Health Month, Kevin, and we read your blog about about your trip to the doctors, and I think maybe I mean I'll just go over to you if you just want to tell us about it. You know better than me, so
yeah, of course, Warren. Right. So in England, when you reach the grand old age of 60, about past that now, they enter into a bowel screening program.
Okay.
And that's every 2 years, so 60, 62, and continues like that. So when I was 60, I did my first bowel screening test. And back then, it was just basically a little bit of your poo onto a slide.
Okay.
Seal it up, envelope, post it back, and then wait for the results.
Right.
That came back fine when I was 60. I thought, oh, good. Because obviously, when you actually send it, you're a little bit nervous in case you do find anything. But I felt well in myself. I felt fine. I didn't see it being a problem. And then during the pandemic, my next test was due in September of 2020, which is 2 more years.
Yeah.
And it got delayed. So they closed all the clinics, the bowel screening program.
Yeah.
So it was 6 months later, which would have been a couple of months ago, it came through. Did the same process. But this time, I think probably a couple of months before the bowel screening program, I noticed when I went to the loo, I got a little bit of blood on the toilet paper.
Okay.
And sometimes I'd see a couple of spots of blood actually in the water.
Right.
Because I do tend to have a look at poo when I've had poo. I don't have ridges, I don't know, but I do. We're in the business, aren't we, poo? So
yeah.
And I noticed, I thought, that's unusual. So I didn't really ignore it. I kept an eye on it. And then it sort of probably twice a week I get that. I thought, no pain, no discomfort, just poo on the toilet paper in the toilet. And then my bowel screening came through. I thought, well, that's good. At least I put my mind at rest. It's probably just a small pile or something like that, which I have had in the past many years ago. So I thought, nothing to worry about.
Yeah. Well, I think. Sorry, I've got to say, I think a lot of men. I know I've been there at some time or another. You might get a bit of blood. When you're forced out with poo.
Yeah.
So, like you say, it does happen very occasionally, but I think it's if it's getting a bit more frequently.
Yeah. And you can be a little bit sore inside sometimes. Maybe
sorry, mate.
Something like that.
Sorry, mate. Carry on with it. I didn't want to.
No. Don't jump in any time, Colin. Ask me to stop me if you need to. So, like I say, I did the bowel screening test this time, sent it off, and you wait, I don't know, usually about a week, 10 days for the results to come back. And I happened to be in the room downstairs, and the letter came, of course, and Linda picked it up off the floor. She said, oh, letter for you, Kevin. So what is it? So I think it's your screening test. I said, oh, right. So, undo it. Mm-hmm. I said, don't mess me about, be honest with me. Don't scare me. So she undid the letter and she says, oh, you've got to go for a colonoscopy. And I says, nah, you messed me about now,
Yeah.
But no, she wasn't. She says, I'd obviously realised I found some trace of blood in my poo, in the fecal matter. So from start to finish, it was an excellent treatment,
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying this to men because don't throw it in the bin. And it's not difficult to do. Just do it. It's important, particularly with bowel cancer, more prevalent in men than women anyway. And I wanted to make sure I was all clear that it was nothing. So the bowel nurse rang me. We booked in Queen's Medical in Nottingham, and they just sent me all the information, packed the instructions, what to do before I go, all the preparation. You take Movicol, which is basically clear your bowel out.
Oh, I bet that was a nice experience then.
Oh, yes. So, sort of, it might sound a bit long-winded, but I'll try and cut it short.
That's okay, mate. Go for it.
So basically, at 1 p.m. the day before you booked in for your colonoscopy,
right?
you've got to stop eating.
Yeah.
So no food. Ideally, no tea, no coffee or anything, just water. And at 6 o'clock in the evening, start taking the movie prep. So at 6 p.m. So within an hour, you need to drink a litre of this stuff. So it's just like a powder. You put into water, stir it in. It's got a bit of a grapefruity flavour to make it a bit more appealing.
Yeah.
And then it's about 4 glasses within the hour. And then you wait. And then you start to move. You get your first bowel movement. And eventually, it is just almost like water just coming out.
Yeah.
And that's it then. There's, like I say, there's no more food.
Right.
You go to bed. You wake up the next morning. Mine was booked in. My colonoscopy was booked in for 2:45. I think it was 2:30, 2:45. So at 7 o'clock in the morning, the following morning, the same procedure again. Take your Movicol, drink it all within 1 hour. It's just a sachet added to a litre of water, and again you get over the cleanse. And there's nothing there really. It's just pure water, because she said, "I want the bowel pristine, clean as possible." So you don't want to be cheating it, do you? Think, "Oh, I'll have this or have that," because it won't do any good. Because when they get in there, if you haven't got a completely clean bowel, they'll probably make you do it again.
Yeah, you come back another time.
Come back another time, yeah. So after that morning, yes, I was a bit nervous. Don't get me wrong, because I've not had this procedure before. But when I got there, I waited my turn, and basically you just take everything off, and you put a pair of shorts on with like a slit on the back of these pants, and then off in you go. And there's a team of 6, and the surgeon or the colonoscopy who did my treatment, his name was Stefano. He was an Italian guy, and I didn't realise I actually got one of the top blokes there.
Okay, fair play.
Which were very good, and there was a lovely team. So I went in, they put me in position, they explained everything to me, what I need to do and what to expect, and said, "Do you want some gas in here?" I says, "Oh, no, thank you." "Okay, would you like sedation?" I says, "No, thank you, I want to see it all." And they were quite surprised.
Yeah, I don't know if
he says, "Okay, Kevin," and he got this big screen in 4K, full colour, turned it towards me. He says, "Right, you'll be able to see everything that's going on." And that was it. And I watched the scope going, and the bowel nurse was with me all the time. She was very, very calm and very. They made it really comfortable, to be honest with you, Carl. And we had a little bit of a joke and that, I said, "Is it your first time, Stefano?" She says, "Yes, Kevin, you're my first patient to do this." I said, "Oh, thank you." I used to say that to my patients as a physio. And then you can see the light actually coming towards your bum, basically, and in it goes. Didn't feel anything. No. Absolutely nothing. But what I did notice when they went in was what looked like a polyp, quite a large one.
Right.
So I said to the bowel nurse, "Is that a polyp?" She says, "Yes." So okay. And off they went, and they fed the. He's doing it all through laparoscopy, a scope. It's all done on screen, as you know when they're watching. And they went all the way around, managed to get all the way around my bowel, and then they come back and they're looking. They're taking a real close look in all the folds, all the creases. And of course, I'm asking them, "Can you see any diverticulitis, any inflammation?" So no, it's lovely and clean. But when he got sort of more near to the anus, he said, "You have got some polyps." He says there's about 4 very tiny ones, but there's a big one here.
Okay. Kevin, before we go on about that, man, so they basically put it all the way up and then
all the way around,
and then look as they're coming out. So how long does it take for him to put it all the way in and then to bring it down roughly?
Oh, actually, not very long at all. Probably a few minutes as they're feeding it round. It's rather quickly. Mine went quite easily. What they do, I didn't point this out actually. They do put gas into the bowel
to expand it.
So to expand the colon, yes. So it makes it easier.
Yeah.
So they're doing that all the time. And every so often, as it's feeding the scope round, of course, it's got a light on, it's got a camera, so you see everything. Every now and again, it'll ask you to pass wind. Yeah. So that's it. Many times you're doing plenty of trumping and farting. Right. It'll just say, "Okay, Kevin, let go. What you did." And then he's feeding all the way around.
And do you feel it going round your intestines? It must be a bit. You don't
feel
it? No,
you don't feel anything because there's
no nerves.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
No
Thinking
nerves.
about it, it makes sense. You won't have nerves. But
So you don't feel anything.
Yeah.
What they have to be careful of course, and what I was more nervous about, that they don't actually perforate the bowel.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So puncture, in other words. So,
Mm.
but obviously he didn't.
Yeah.
They were very, very good, very accurate, very good with it. So when they came back and he took it out, he mentioned he got this large polyp. He says, "We'll do the surgery now." He says, "Is that okay?" I says, "Yes."
Yeah.
And I was quite happy with that. Let's get it out, you know. And it's like a snare. So everything's done through the wires and the tubes, and the feet. So they call it snakes. It's like a loop, like a steel wire loop.
Yeah. Sort of like a lasso, sort of at the end.
That's it, like a lasso on the end.
Mm.
And you feed that in, and then it sort of goes over the top of it, and then obviously it presses the button and it just shears it off.
Right.
But the one I got, he says, was quite low down to the bowel wall. He says, I need to lift it, a bit like a mushroom. Right. So I can see the stalk, because he didn't want to obviously perforate the bowel. So he injected with this like a dye, and it's all done again through the tube, like a needle. You can see it all if you're prepared to watch it. If you want to watch it.
Yeah.
And he did that, and then he took it off in 3 sections because he said it was 50 millimeters in size.
50 millimeters?
50 millimeters in size. Now, when I saw it, obviously being an ex-engineer, I thought it was more close to 30. But I didn't argue with him. I thought, I'm not going to argue, you know, and debate it. But he said it was around about 50 millimeters. That's what's on my records. So he sheared it off in three pieces. Right. And then once he'd done that, you can see the bleeding. Yeah. He cauterized it. And then he put some little tiny metal clips on it. And then he tattooed it. Because he says, we're going to tattoos, Kevin. He says, no tattoos. It's where you've got one now. But you won't be able to see it. So they tattoo the area where they take the polyp off. So when they go back in, they can see where it's been and if everything's okay.
Right.
I've got to go back actually next month to have those other 2 little ones, or was it 3 little ones removed? Okay. And they'll and have another check to make sure everything's all right in there. And then they sent those the polyps off for the biopsy, to be checked and analysed. And then you wait 10 days for the results to make sure, obviously, they're not precancerous or anything like that. I think that's the most worrying time.
Of course it is.
So the surgery, watching it all, fascinating for me, especially being a physio. And they couldn't believe it, how so engaging I was with it all. But I really, I suppose in a way, enjoyed seeing how it was all done.
Yeah.
But then you've got to wait these 10 days.
Yeah.
But he did say to me at the time, said, Kevin, I wouldn't take this off if at any time I thought it was a worry, a bit cancerous.
Right.
It's I'm almost certain, but we still need to do it anyway.
I think no matter. Sorry, Kevin. I think no matter what you do, is even if you're sure yourself that there's nothing wrong, but there's always that little nagging, 1% going through your mind all the time until you get that report back. Yeah, of course it will do.
Yeah, it does niggle you. So. And then I think about 8 to 9 days later, I got this phone call and answered it. She's like, Kevin Booth, yes. Hello, Kevin. I'm the bowel nurse, screen nurse from Nottingham University Hospital, Queen's Med. I said, okay, yes. I said, have you got my results? She said, yes, I have.
Was your heart giving a bit like that then?
It was, but from the tone of her voice.
Yeah, it felt calm.
I felt it. Yeah, I thought, this is good. This is good news.
Right.
I said, can I have them, please? She says, well, we're going to send them to you in writing a letter. She said, but I can give them now if you want them. I says, yeah, please. I don't wait anymore. And she says, you're all good. You're all clear, Kevin. Nothing. Yeah. So excellent. That was a massive relief.
Excellent.
And I think in a way, after that particular day, it puts your life back in order again. It makes you realise how close you can be to something. And then actually, I don't know, things go through your head, I'm 62, I've got a granddaughter, my wife, my son. I need to be here. I can't have this, but it's
I think
a good feeling.
Yeah, the important thing, I mean, like I say, the after it's such a relief, but the other side to that is people, I know I one myself, you see something and you go, oh, it's something enough in that little bit of blood, don't worry about it and just let it go and let it go. But as soon as you basically go and get it checked out, even if you don't think it's anything, just go and get it get it
Just
checked.
get it
What's the
checked
harm?
out.
Yeah, and then you know for
Don't
sure. Then.
even wait for the screening program, because I mean that's every 2 years. But when I started noticing mine, I thought, well, if it don't come through soon, I'm going to my GP and get it checked out,
Right, yeah.
because it's unusual for me. But like I say, it came through at that time, which was good timing. But no, I'd say to men, don't throw it in the bin. I do know of 2 men that actually did that, and they both ended up with cancer.
Oh dear me.
But they're still alive, they're recovered. Because if they can get it early enough, if there's anything sort of, they can catch it early enough, they can sort it.
That's a good point. Yeah, even if you hear the words that you don't want to hear it, it's cancerous. There's still stuff you can do, and the sooner you go, the better it is, and the more likely he is of recovering. So
I think there was another bit of a scary part. I think it's all the form filling, and before you go in for your colonoscopy, and this maybe frighten people, it does unnerve you a little bit. But they do say things like, it could go wrong. We could perforate the bowel. You might end up with stoma. We could rush you off to A&E if things go wrong. But don't worry, we've got everything here, Kevin. If anything goes horribly wrong, we can get it sorted. But, and you have to sign this declaration that you accept all that. But you just got to think positive and say, no.
For me, my point is, if something does go wrong, at least you're in the best place for it.
That's what I thought. And they said, you're in the right place. If it does go wrong, we'll get it sorted. But it's a very, very small percentage. In fact, they do give you the statistics on the booklet you get of how many people, I think the older you are, of course, obviously the thinner your bowel wall is. So the more it's easier to perforate or have a problem. So,
right.
But it still won't stop me doing it.
No, I think, thank you for telling us that story as well. And it puts a bit of relief into my mind as well. Because like you say, it's a man point. Well, I don't like the thought of things being stuck up my bum anyway. Do you know what I mean?
We don't.
Yeah. No. And then that I was just thinking, like you say, how you feel it going through? Because I'm 50, or I'm 50 next year. I'm 50.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I have the old test now and again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The old prostate test.
Prostate, they do that as well before they actually put the scope in. Just to make sure there's no you haven't got any piles or anything obstructions there. So they do that first anyway.
I was kind of panicking first time doing that. I thought, we've got to get it done. It's part of it's one of the things you need to do. I was like nervous lying down on the thing as he approached me, and then he did all that gel on that. It was a weird feeling. It wasn't painful in any way. And when you feel him touching the prostate as well, it's like someone's touching something inside. You could feel it. Oh, right, it's a bit weird, but. I mean, it's an uncomfortable situation, with the guy there and that. But it's like, say, it's a few seconds and it's over, but it's not painful. But then, like, I just thought, with you having this camera shoved all the way in through your bowels, it must be either pretty painful or uncomfortable. But like you said, you don't feel it. I never thought about that. I think naturally you think the worst. You know what I mean? It's going to be horrible and blah blah blah.
I said to him when he goes around the bends, of course, and he's controlling, obviously with a robot.
Yeah.
Because it's pushing the same time as he's controlling it. And he says, as he gets to the bends, he works it round as he's pushing. He says it's all robotically controlled.
Yeah.
So it's not really. I can't ever remember him touching the sides, to be honest with you. So it was very good. Okay, those things that we used to have with kids used to move along the bar.
Yeah, the buzzy things. Yeah.
I think he must have a lot of practice at one of them he has. He's fast.
That's a good point. I'll tell that game when I go. So just before, let's have a game of Operation and see how well he does that, picking out the balls. And if he does all that,
but yes, I know what men they say. Oh, I don't fancy things up with bum, blah blah blah, and they don't fancy that. But what's the alternative?
Yeah, of course.
Death through cancer.
Yeah.
Or just having that scope. I know what I'd choose.
Exactly.
Choose life. Just get it done.
Yeah. A few seconds of strangeness for.
Yeah. Just get it done.
Years on life. Excellent. Thank you for that story, Kevin. I appreciate that. And like I said, while we're finishing off, while I'm enjoying some of my tummy tea, why don't you tell us a bit about the Just for Tummies business itself? What it's all about.
Yeah. Well, Just for Tummies, really. When did we start that? 2014, 2015. Linda's always been interested in poo. I mean, her nickname's Poo Lady. As you know, she's a colon hydrotherapist. So she's dealt a lot with cleaning bowels out and with poo. And along the way, she used to recommend supplements to people. because obviously they might not come back for 2 or 3 months, but they'd say, well, what can sort of keep me going or help me out in those next few months? And she's always been big into probiotics and things like, omega-3 fish oils, garlic, milk thistle, things like that. People helping themselves. And we were telling other people's. I thought one day, why aren't we doing that? We've got all this knowledge together nearly 30 years in a clinical environment, so probably nearly 50 odd years combined knowledge. So I said to Linda one day, why don't we develop his own? And that was the sort of, I think for Linda, it like triggered. Oh, yeah. Oh, maybe I could just sort of sell other people's, you know what you want, because she'd say, I don't know why they put this in here. I don't know why I put that in here. I don't like that. And I said, well, if you develop your own, you can have exactly what you think you need in there.
What you think works. Yeah.
So that was just the beginning of an idea. But then I think the most difficult thing was, one, to raise the finances to do it. So what we did, I mean, people thought we were crazy. We drew his pensions out because back then George Osborne allowed anybody with a pension to draw a pension out in a lump sum or big chunks of money. So that's how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So we need about £50,000. And people says, you're mad.
Yeah.
Family says, you're crazy. Don't do it. My financial advisor at the time I got my pension with this, Kevin, leave your pension where it is. It's making 3-4% sometimes, blah, blah, blah. I says, no, I've got to do this. My gut's telling me something. I feel good about it. And my wife wants to do it. And we're going to create this company. And so back off from the physio a little bit. Anyway, we did it. Yeah. We took the money and started the ball rolling. And then we got to find someone that will actually contract manufacture the products. I think that's one of the most difficult bits, really. Because when we approached all these companies, it's just a small business, we're not interested. Yeah. It's just, So that was the hardest part, getting someone to make the products for us. And by pure chance, a friend of mine that I've known for a few years through the clinical environment, it was a sunny day on a Saturday. We stood outside talking with a cup of tea, and then his name was James. I said, yes, James, we've got this idea to set this company up. I said, but the problem is it's finding a contract manufacturer. And he was a builder. He's not anything to do with clinical work.
Right.
He says, what's that? I says, supplements. It's like food supplements. I says, my friend does that. He's got a company that make all these supplements and things like and vitamins and that. I says, really? He says, yeah. I says, you couldn't put me a word in. He says, I'll have a chat to him tonight and see if I can pass your number on to see if he's interested. And that was it. Wow. He contacted us. We contacted him. And they started making the products for us.
Fantastic! It was almost,
and it was so. It was almost a bit of luck in a way, but through chatting, because my son says my dad's always gassing and chatting to people, talking rubbish. But I always say, sometimes you might be talking rubbish, and sometimes things good come out of it.
Yeah, things click into place.
You do. You just never know, do you, Carl?
No,
so
exactly.
it just came at the right time for us, and that's it. We just progressed from there, and it does very well.
That's brilliant. I mean, I know Linda. I mean, do you know what followers you've got on the likes of YouTube or Facebook? Do you know what I mean?
Thousands. I couldn't tell you exactly how much, but we've got thousands.
Yeah, I've got thousands. They're not doing bad.
Thousands, yeah. We've got Tummy Talk, of course, which Linda created, a platform for people to talk about. It's a private group, talk about the bowels and problems and IBS. But yes, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, loads of followers.
Like I say, for anyone who's interested or thinking about some products or stuff like, get in touch. Well, I'll leave the link under there somewhere. And
yes, thank you. Please do. I mean, if you want some information or advice on what their problem is and how to resolve it, and if it can help you, then we will do.
I know you do kind of PDFs and reports on certain kinds of conditions, don't know, that they can download if they need them.
There's lots of downloads on the website, justfortummies.co.uk.
You got me thinking there, Kev, as well, because I know you mentioned milk thistle, and I'm sure I've heard that's good, because I suffer from a non-alcoholic fatty liver. So I've heard milk thistle is good for fatty liver.
It's very good, yes, for that. Yeah.
So I think
I would call it, was it the night before or the morning after? So, if you've been out and had a few bevies and a drink, it helps with the hangover as well. Yeah. But like I say, I'm fatty liver.
Yeah, so I might have to look it up myself. Listen, Kevin, you've been a wonderful subject's the wrong word. What's the word I'm looking for?
That's a new on the subject.
Yeah, it's been great chatting to you, mate. It's really interesting. It's really helpful as well. So thank you for that. Well, what I want to do, mate, is because you've been such a good interviewee. I want to send you a Carl's Bearded Banter golden sticker, buddy.
Oh,
So
got gold one, not silver.
It's not silver. It's a golden one.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah,
you can join the Carl's Bearded Banter revolution. So
I will do.
Get Linda to send me the address out, and I'll stick them in an envelope for you.
Yeah, but that's nice talking to you as well, Colin. Anytime you want to come back and do it again, or chat a bit more about it, I'm more than happy to do that.
Like if we get some questions on it, we know where to come to now. We know.
Any questions on it? Because I've done it. I've done the process. I've researched it as well. With it being a physio, you tend to do that anyway. You get. I knew what I was letting myself in for at the time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that bit.
But when it's you think,
yes, I
don't find anything. Yeah. Please don't find anything.
Thanks a lot, Kev. I won't keep you any longer. I'll let you go. I'll get the guards to escort you out the drawbridge. Make sure them crocodiles don't get you on the way. I know you got one on your shirt there. But...
Yeah, I hope I've not bored you too much in it. But yeah, the thing with this subject, you can really chat so much about it, and from start to finish, it's with the process. But
keep it to within a time frame. But you can see, and it's probably what reflects on why the business is doing so well. I mean, I know Linda. I know how interested and enthusiastic she is. And talking to you can tell you've got that enthusiasm and that true belief. It's not just about making money. It's about helping people, benefiting people. You can tell that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
you've got that.
That's right, Carl. I mean, with the physio, was very well known in Nottinghamshire, Kevin Lindy, They used to call him Magic Fingers. And the thing is, they could see the passion. But we're there to help people.
The passion, yeah.
We gave it everything to help them, and I didn't like people going away and not fixing them. And coming from an engineering background, we like to think we can fix things. So I went from mechanic to sort of spinal mechanics, and I wanted to fix it. So you have got to be passionate, whatever you do in any work, any job, any business. If your passion's not there, the people will see that and they won't believe you.
Yeah, true.
So, like you said, it's not just about making money.
No,
they've got to be a bit more than that to it.
You look like you're doing it well, mate. So, thanks a lot, mate. Listen, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Everybody out there,
anytime, Cole. Yes, I'll do it.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you, everybody.
Toodles.
Thank you, everybody.